Hello, fam. We are back again. One more time. We are back. We are back. We are live here with another powerful episode. We are live here at Empire Finance TV. Please come through, guys. Let's hear what the episode has to offer today. We are live here. As you are coming through, guys, please invite your friends, share this live broadcast to everyone, to all your friends. Let's bring everyone, guys, to the show so that everyone gets educated on this information that we're about to share today. All right, invite your friends, guys. There is a comment section. You can always say something. Let's greet one another. Say where you are coming from, where you're watching this live broadcast from. If you are from Namibia, from Swati, from the UK, from wherever you are coming from, guys, please do say something on the comment section. Yeah, it's another powerful episode, guys, that we are bringing to you. All right, welcome through, guys. We are about to start. Yeah. Invite everyone, guys. Invite all your people so that they come and listen here. All right. Christoph, let's get started, guys. Let's get moving. I'll introduce you to our guest for tonight, who's been in the Forex space, in the financial space, so to say, to make it broader. He's been in the financial space for quite some years. He's got some intensive and external knowledge, guys, about the industry. So yeah, he's here to share with us his latest project that he's busy with. It's an exciting project, guys, that you're gonna learn about today. So yeah, I'm excited to learn as well. In fact, the gentleman was here last time, but he has gone further in developing his project. So today is about to share where he is and how far he has gone with his project. All right, please help me welcome our guest for tonight. He's none other than Reiaan Hobson. Hi, how are you?
I'm good, Hobson. How are you?
I'm super, man. I'm super. How have you been?
I've been okay. I've been very busy with the project of the game and obviously with some other stuff as well. Yeah, I've been running around actually today as you were catching me in one meeting that I needed to run to another one. So it was quite a hectic day, but that is actually where it all starts every day. But yeah, with the project, I'm actually very excited.
All right, let's start from the beginning. Please introduce yourself. Some people haven't heard of you, and some would like to just get an intro of who you are and what exactly have you been doing in the space.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not like your flashy forex traders, um, as you know. So obviously I'm not so popular as the others. So all the hardworking dogs are normally underground, not actually in the scenes. As yourself being here for over a decade and a half in the industry, been trading pure fundamentals, which are economic news, breaking news, and understanding the markets, and also have my economics that goes with it. But honestly, someone that needs to trade don't have to now have an economics degree. It's just me that was crazy enough to go and do that. Yeah, I wrote a few books, two books, which is White Monopoly Capital and The Ultimate Depression. And then I actually now coming with the best project, most expensive project that I'm actually working on, which is now the Forex board game, which is actually the first Forex board game in the world on mobile. And that actually is the most exciting part. It's quite expensive. But that comes also with experience over the years, trying to find ways to make things easier for trade. It's always good when experienced people make life a bit easier for the newcomers, so that they don't have that difficult time of where we were, where you needed to go inside a bank and do the transfer for a, for a transaction. I hope people will laugh about it now, but that was the so that is where the innovation come in. As you grow older, you become much smarter. That's why you have a podcast, by sharing your information with people, to make it much easier for them to trade. So that was just now my way of building the game, make it simpler for someone at the age of 6, who will be able to understand the market by playing the game.
Interesting times indeed. Yeah, of course, you no longer have to go to the bank to do some transfers like before. Back in the years like 2020, 2010, 2011, where you used to go to the bank, where you used to, go to SARS and get that slip so that it can allows you to transfer the money abroad. Look, yeah, we've gone so much, so much has happened. But yeah, look, right. You also said you're a fundamental trader.
Yeah,
You are not a technical trader, you're a fundamental trader. That's
yeah.
how I've known you to be a fundamental trader. Tell us about what is a fundamental trader.
It is basically what the word is saying. It's the foundation of every trader that he needs to understand. And where I see, that's why I came with the concept with the game, where I see a lot of traders is ignoring the fundamentals, and they think it's basically too difficult for them to understand. And what the word is actually saying is like reading. Reading is fundamental so that you can become better in writing or understanding stuff in the street, like a stop sign and all of those things. So exactly the same comes to trading. Trading, it's very straightforward for me. If you understand the fundamentals, yes, all the trimmings come on later. Where is your moving averages, your profit takes, and your stop losses, and your support and resistance lines, and those things. For me, fundamental is fundamental for you to start to trade. So that is understand simple concepts like inflation, GDP. If a war breaks out, what do? You can't actually be blind. If a war breaks out, for example, Ukraine and Russia, and then you want to be surprised in the market, you don't know what to do. You're supposed to know automatically that now oil prices are going up because war, Russia is involved in the war. Or if you're in the Middle East, you must know already, the oil prices will go up. Or like, for example, back in the day, it was Iraq and United States with Saddam Hussein. Automatically, there the oil prices go up. So that is actually fundamental, that you need to understand stuff without the charts. Because once you get the information from the news, whether it is from Bloomberg, investing.com, or anywhere, something is happening in the world, for example, a recession, you must automatically know what must go up and what must go down. Like, for example, the dollar went down, the dollar went up in recessions, and the yen, and you have the Swiss franc. Those three currencies go up. So before you go to the chart, those are things that you need to know already. Then you go over the chart, and that is where you will see, okay, it broke this resistance line, so it has the potential of moving further. But if you don't understand the simple basic stuff, like if a recession hit, what must you do? So you just want to jump to the chart straight away and draw lines. You need to know, why is this thing jumping in the first place, or why is it going down? From there on, you can go and you can adjust the market, your Fibonacci's and all of the things of how far it will go. So that for me is where I see where traders lack a lot. And that for me is fundamental. And that's, for me personally, I just stay there with the fundamentals. Read the news, take the trade, that's it. The finishing plan.
Nice one, nice one. Let's jump straight into the main business. Forex board game. What is it, and how did you come up with such a concept? Let us get educated on that.
That comes when you go crazy of trying to help people understand the fundamentals. And then you try to find a better way so that people can understand it in a more fun manner. So that, because people get asleep if you talk about inflation the whole day, about the GDP, interest rates, the Federal Reserve banks, and all the reserve banks in the world. So that is where I came with the concept with the Forex board game. And besides that, waking up my wife at 2 o'clock in the morning to say, hey, you need to help me out to draw this, this board game. I'm terrible in drawing though. So that is where she comes in, and she helped me now to draw the whole entire concept. And from there on, we now literally push forward to build it of where it is today.
All right. We have got the statistics says 90% of traders lose money in the market. That works out to roughly 360 million of traders who are involved in the market, who are active traders. And will this Forex board game help or solve such a scenario?
Definitely it will. What we're currently having now, it didn't change now in the era of where we started, even before. For example, we go to the news, we read the news on Bloomberg and all of those things, but you don't have the solution to the problem. You just hear there's a war in Iraq, as I explained now, but you don't know how will the market react. You have no idea how the market will react. So you listen to the news, but still you need to go and look, what must I do now? That is the big thing that a lot of traders are sitting with. So that's why you see on the advert of the Forex board game, it's a scenario-based game. So what I did, I built actually scenarios into the game. So I actually have there a war, a card, economic card that will say there's a war. Then you will see the US and the Japanese yen will move forward. If you say inflation news goes up, and then you will see the currency moves forward. So the game is actually showing the people, if this happens, inflation, this is the reaction of the currency that's going to happen.
Nice one.
You understand? So even if you look at trading view, for example, you can draw your lines and charts and all that. If there's news coming out now, and you know it, news create havoc into the market. So if that is happening, you must have at least an understanding what will be the behavior of the currency. And that's why I get to the game, and that's why I want to solve that 360 million people's problem. Because one thing I can tell you, the 10% that are trading has a very good understanding of inflation, interest rates, the reserve banks, what will happen if these guys make an announcement. That's why they have their own success. For the rest of us, and what I personally hate, is that if you open up, you type in Forex beginner, you're getting the same stuff over and over again. Fibonacci, moving average, all the technical stuff. But no one is telling you, if inflation goes up, this is going to happen, the possibility, what's going to happen to the currency. And that is where I have the scenario-based game, that when news breaks out, this is the possibility that will move the currency backwards or forward.
You are from South Africa. Instead of getting involved in the Forex market as an end user, as a trader only, you went deep into producing such an exciting and a great project, which is partly educating. In fact, it's educational. As I listen to you, it's educational. People are gonna learn a lot from this Forex board game, and translate whatever they are learning into the real market.
Yeah.
How did you single yourself out and say, I want to be a producer, I want to produce something amazing like this?
Definitely. Like, if you look, for example, in South Africa, if you look at the government debt, for example, just throwing a bit off the chart now. Once a nation is borrowing, is staying alive by borrowing, then that nation is not producing. Do you understand? Then we are not producing it. And that is the most scariest thing ever. So somewhere we need to produce. Somewhere someone needs to be crazy enough and say, listen here, I'm going to now dig in and build this thing. Regardless what storm is now coming, I'm going in now hard and I'm building something. Something that so that someone can say, you know what? I was listening to this guy on Alson's podcast. I really didn't believe that he will make it. But look where the bastard is now. You understand? It's just like we have to dig in and start to build. Yes, the game needed to get sent off to America. But even when I was sending it off, they were themselves shocked of what is coming out of here with load shedding, water shedding, extreme poverty, inequality, government that is being corrupt. But still, there's someone that built something that someone there in America had no clue how it worked. So I know it's the most difficult thing for a lot of people, especially in South Africa and in Africa. But you just have to put your head down and face the storm. And I know you will have to go lengths to try and convince people of getting money just to actually to produce whatever masterpiece you're building. Like for my instance was the Forex game. And yes, there was doubts. Like I was explaining to you earlier, even Facebook didn't believe me when I said this is the first mobile game on Apple and Google in the world. I mean, they banned me. They banned me. So it just shows you. I'm not saying they're discriminating. The thing is, what we are sitting with is that we have serious problems and we all are not producing. It is difficult, yes. Oh, yes, it is difficult. The banks are not borrowing money to us. But we must do something. You can't just sit hands down, nobody's helping me, nobody's giving me money. Yes, I know that. But inbox people, say, hey, I need 100,000 to get this thing done. If you don't want to give me, fine, go to the next person. Even if you do 20, 50 a day, do it. But someone needs to produce something here. Otherwise, our children, the unborn, will disappear. And this country will be gone. Well, as I said in the beginning, if a country goes in debt to survive, then definitely we are not producing.
Absolutely, one has to do it. There has to be someone who stands up and then says, I'm taking the lead. I'm gonna do it for the entire family, for the next generation that comes before me.
True.
Yeah, man. So who's your target market with this project?
There are definitely 360 million people that are losing. And definitely I think they lack the basic things, and which is the fundamentals. And for me, if I teach someone, when I give classes to someone, although it's not so popular as what other traders are teaching people, you can see the lack of understanding of how simple economics affects the market. And every time you hear a person saying, no, I didn't trade properly, I was using this, I was using 4-hour charts and all of those things. I said, listen, my man, before we get there, do you know what's inflation? And do you know what's GDP? Do you know what? Because that is the most important thing. And I can see the frustration in them because they don't want to go through all that drama with inflation, economics, and all of those things. But for you to become successful, you just have to go through it. So the 360 million people that are losing, I can say the simple diagnosis for that is that you need to understand the fundamentals. I know a lot of people are saying it is the psychology. Look, man, there's nothing wrong with your head. There's nothing wrong with that. The thing is that if you have a structured plan, I always tell people, have a very structured plan. Like, for example, in life, you wake up at 4, you go and run, take your kids to school. If you have that plan structured, well-oiled, believe me, you will not go wrong on that if you have a well-oiled machine. But if you don't have the basics right, which is the fundamentals, I don't see how anyone can be successful.
we are talking of a $6 trillion market a day. 6 trillion that moves in this market.
Yeah.
Surely you have got a lot of competitors. Who are your competitors in this big industry of the Forex market?
Yeah, we have quite big ones. When I was building the game, I thought it would be Monopoly or the Forex brokers and all of those things. Obviously, I was just concentrating on building the game. I was not thinking of who will be my competition until I go to these guys, pre-apps in the United States. And then they told me, hey, man, your competitors, investing.com, Bloomberg, Baby Pups, Forex Factory, those people will be my competition. Because one, we all are actually in for advertising space. So for the game to survive and to get revenue for the game, we need to get adverts. Because one, the game is free for people to play. The competition, which will when we relaunch, the game will pay out 5,000 Rand per day for winners. So all of that is for free. So somewhere the money must come from. So the money must come from advertising. So we will fight for advertising space. So the brokers will advertise, the banks will advertise on the game. So that is what we are fighting for advertising space. So investing.com, Bloomberg, all of those guys, they will come in and they are my competitors, and we will have to fight for competition. Just for interest sake, brokers, like for example, what's this guy's name? Exness. Exness makes $2 trillion a month, US dollars.
A month.
A month.
Yes, that's quite a lot of money.
Exactly. And spending about nothing less about 40 billion US dollars on advertising. Nothing less. So that is where I come in, is to look, I can build a concept where I can teach people for free and enjoy it for free. Only thing that I need to get is advertising to pay for the game, to pay for the survival of the game, and also to make a profit out of it.
You are the mastermind behind this project, and who are the other directors, investors, other partners? Do you mind if you can share with us?
A lot of people want to stay silent in that regard. But I'm actually the main person behind the whole story, the brain power, the one that needs to fight every single day. There was literally 3 people, no more, 4, that literally were assisting me trying to get this game on board. Even I got assistance now, trying just to get the game on board, literally funding from everywhere. Just to literally design the game, that's one. 2, because the research of the game was the most expensive part. The losing of money was was quite a lot. For example, I can say easily close to about 6 million went down the drain by just actually trying to develop the game itself. And that is where the painful part is. So you try to get assistance from people and all of that, and then you make up debt as well with people, with banks and everything, and you try to pay the bank back, and then you try to pay this person back as well. But it was quite challenging. But I can't say that there's not support at all for people who are not willing to assist. It's just that the game needs quite a lot to survive. For example, if you look at the advertising alone, to get a game from pre-apps, it's about 300,000 US dollars for 1 year. So that is about 6 million Rand just to get the game into the marketing space. And that is excluding the development of the game. So investments is highly needed for the survival of the game.
All right, whilst we're talking about investments, what type of investors are you looking for? What type of a deal do you offer to potential investors?
Most of the time, when investors come in, they have their own ideas normally planned out when they approach me. Look, one thing about South Africans that I noticed over the years, when they come negotiations, they come with a bulletproof vest, they come with their AK-47 before they come to negotiate. But one thing that is more commonly known is as the one they borrow money. So they will borrow money, like for example, they say, listen here, I have about 200,000 in my bank account. Look, I want you to be successful. Please, once the game starts, is it possible for now we negotiate with 50, like maybe with 20% or 15%? But once you reach your targets, is it possible that we can look for an additional 5% or 10%? So that is the most common deals that I actually get. Because one thing what I noticed also with a lot of investors that I come across, they don't want their registration name anywhere on the company. Nowhere. Because one, obviously, then the tax man come for you. That's one. And so they don't, that is the main reason they don't want their names basically on the CIPC document, because then it makes decision making also a bit complicated. Because now once I need to make a decision, I need to inform them, I need to send letters to them, and I need to sign it off, and he needs to sign it off. So there needs to be a lot of things that comes with it. So what I see what a lot of people do, they say, listen, I don't want to do all that registration. I'm giving you this money, 200,000. We signed the agreement. I want 15% when the game is running. But if you hit the targets according to this business plan, please, can you enter it up with a 5 or 10%? That is the safest actually deal, because also at the same time, the person is putting a gun to my head. Even if the business goes down, I still need to pay him back at the end.
You are a Forex trader yourself. Why don't you self-fund this project? Take money from the market and then fund this project yourself.
Definitely. With the price of eggs now at 160 Rand for 30, it's basically quite tight to do it with self-funding. But one thing about Forex is not actually something that literally is there for you to have pocket change. It's an investment vehicle. It's something that you trade and leave alone for the next 5 to 10 years. Not something that you must eat off every month. It is not designed or built in that manner. It is not. And I don't know why people are stressing themselves also to make money every day from Forex. It is just not possible. You can make it today, but definitely for the next 5 days, you will not make money. So Forex in the first place, I think a lot of traders have the concept wrong by thinking that Forex will solve their daily issues or their monthly expenses. It's not built for that. It's built as an investment vehicle. It's money that you're supposed to put in there and you leave it the hell alone and you trade it for a long time. So that's why I'm not so flashy. I don't know how the other guys are making it. Honestly, I don't know. If you can see, I have no designer clothing on. So I honestly don't know how the other traders are doing, but it's something long-term. It's not something short-term. So for now, what I do, I ask literally people to sign an agreement with me, give me the money. This is the percentage that we agree on that the person must get. And as I said, if the person say, listen, if you hit your target in the business plan, please, is it possible that you can increase the return on investment?
All right, talking of our investors, obviously, when they come through to the business, to the project, they always want to know the revenues, the forecast, what are we looking at, and what's the potential in this project. So what are the revenues? What's the forecast here?
What we're looking at we're speaking in dollar terms when we built the game. And what I noticed is quite a lot of South Africans are playing games, but nobody's building the games. That is quite an issue. There's also money leaving the country in that way. If you look at the revenue side, we're looking at $1.7 million US in the first year. The cost of the game is very static, I would say. For example, you have 23,000 US dollars, or let's say 25,000 US dollars for marketing every month. You will have development that will be between 3 and 7,000 every month. So there's not much variable expenses that will have the server expenses, software development. All of those things are static. And then we're looking at a profit side for the first year of about 1.5 million. That is now for the first year of profits. So that is what we're looking at in the first year. Then you get 6 million second year, and then you get to 11 million in the third year. When it comes to the revenue side, there's one, you have your subscriptions. You have two, you have your ad revenues. So there's a formula that I was given by pre-apps, the marketing people. So basically what happens there, it is let's say we reach 100,000, because that is our goal in the first 6 months. So we reach 100,000. So then it's 100,000, you times it by 15. 15 means that is the time what people spend, one person spent on your game. So your 100,000, you times it by 15, and then you times it by CPM, which is now 0.02. So then you get to 90,000 US dollars to the month, for the month of June. Let's say if you start now in January, 6 months, so then it's June. So then you look at 90,000. From there, the downloads are moving up. So we're looking at a million downloads in approximately in 2025, the beginning of 2025. That is where the money now will literally roll in. And that is now in 2025. But the most important part, and that's why we spend so much on marketing. Once we reach that 100,000 US dollars, so 100,000 downloads, then that is, sky's the limit. Because from there on, it will start to shoot. Because then the game gets updated to its new phase. Then your marketing starts to decrease slightly, because you don't need it to be so aggressive, because you reach your 100,000. But so now it depends on the game now. So the game needs to get updated. The game software needs to be done. New changes or economic news needs to be done. So then your marketing slightly tilts down. Your expenditure on software is going up. And once we reach that million, then we're sitting in a different league.
Tell me, have you looked into the small investors, people who don't have a lump sum, big funds to invest, but want to get involved in your project? They can see potential in your project. How do you structure? Have you structured anything for the small investors, maybe in terms of shares, in terms of along such lines? What have you structured?
Absolutely. Like we only have, for example, the money that people borrow to us. Like with shares, obviously, that is now something totally different, because there you need lump sums if you now wants to buy shares. So basically, I like to treat people as equal as possible. But obviously, if someone have a lot of money, like 200, 300, 400,000, or say a million that comes along, obviously, he will say, hey, listen, yeah, I want a higher return on investment for the money that I'm borrowing you. So, but most of the time, someone that comes with money, like, for example, 10,000, 5,000 Rand, like that, I'm not now discriminating for money. Look, as my mother was saying, if you can't pick up a 10 cents, if you don't know what to do with the 10 cents in the streets, then you will know nothing when you get a million, which is absolutely true. So one thing is, I will never discriminate for someone that comes in with money, whether it's 5,000, 10,000, 1,000. Every bit help. And then obviously we sign an agreement that this person will get a certain percentage per year, and that will actually put the person at least. My thing is this: if the person comes, he will know that he's part of history. And I think that is what most of the people want. They want to be part of something that they built, and that they were part of. And I think that is for them more important.
All right, we have spoken about investors. Now let's talk about subscribers. People want to play the games. the general populace. In fact, those are the most important people because those are the real clients. Those are the real business. How do they get involved? If they want to get involved, where to start? Can you give us that foundation, please?
Yeah, for the people that wants to download the game and play, like what we expect is the game to be live in December. So the game is going through a aggressive checks that needs to go through, and also the robots that are getting developed for the games is basically complete. So there's a new AI system that has been built into the game. So the game will be heavy automated. It's not like previously how we had a game in the beginning of the year where you have to wait for the other person first to log on before you can start to play the game. So we have an entirely new bot system, seasons, the competitions, all of those things are basically now part of the game. So for now, if you look at Apple Store, you will get the Forex board game. But it will just not be active now because we are still busy installing actually the bots in. But I think by, I would say, second week in December, that is where things will start to roll in.
All right. Quite interesting. What a great project. What's your projection in the next 5 years, 10 years? Do you think this project can be bigger than Candy Crush?
That's a very good one. Look, Candy Crush is a 20 billion company. Look, that game is being around for quite some time and it's actually well-respected game. The best part of Candy Crush, what I learned now, is that you need to have a very good marketing. Look, honestly, I'm sure you play Candy Crusher. No, I'm not trying out the best Candy Crush. But it's not now the most smartest game to be developed. But with good marketing, that is where they are today, with 20 billion US dollars strong. So that's why I was now listening. I have this game. Who the hell are the people that market Candy Crusher? And that was now Preapps. So Preapps developed Candy Crusher or market Candy Crusher, LinkedIn, Nike, Uber Eats. So I went down to the big guys and say, listen, I want you guys now to promote the game. It was quite a story actually to get through to the process because they don't work with anyone. You need to have a very good game for them to sell to the market. So I went to them. So I was like, listen, if Candy Crusher can make 20 billion in approximately 10 years, that is what I'm aiming. So I want my 20 billion or surely more because the technology is more advanced now as a time where Candy Crusher was starting. So I'm expecting at least about 20 to 40 billion in the next 10 years and definitely be better than Candy Crusher because it is a unique game. It is the first game that the world has ever seen in the Forex market. It's literally what I'm doing. I'm gamifying the Forex industry. I'm changing it entirely to a game, like what FIFA did with soccer, the FIFA game with soccer, what Monopoly did with real estate. Now, this is what I'm doing now, is literally using the Forex game to change the Forex market. So with that revolutionary normally comes a lot of responsibility, a lot of dirt that you have to eat through. But once you go through that whole revolution process and you get to where you want to be, that is where I can say we will be much better than Candy Crusher and surely be much higher in revenue of about surely between 20 and 40 billion in the next 10 years.
Great one. Reiaan, the fundamentalist, tell us about your books. You have mentioned before that you have written some books. Please give us some insights on your books.
The most popular one, which is still selling, is The Ultimate Depression. It's stuff that I actually said back in 2017, I think 2016, 2017, that we will see a very dark moment, and it will last for about 5 years. And one thing is that you will see now inflation is skyrocketing. So the central banks is trying very hard now to control inflation, but they are going overboard now by pressing hard on inflation, and that will now push inflation right down, and then you will have deflation. And once you have deflation, it means that the economy don't have money anymore. They are broke, out of jobs. They don't have money, because when you press inflation so hard down, companies will close down because of high interest rates. People will lose their houses, their cars, and all of those things. So then it means if you have deflation, it means people are not buying anything anymore. And if people are not buying anything, it only means one thing, that the person don't have a job. Company shut down. And that is what we will get in the ultimate depression. And once we see that, because now it's a very good blaming game now, because I don't have my job because you actually lift up the interest rates through the roof. And that is where hell can start to break out. And that is what I've been warning people for the last, 8 years now. Been saying, listen here, these guys printing too much money, central banks across the world. At some point, it will be too much, and then it becomes too much, it will become a problem. And this is where we are now. It is really now becoming a problem. So it's literally now, it's the only way it's down. I was looking at the share price of Tesla, Airbnb, and other companies that are popular. Look, you can see now that share price is just floating there around. It doesn't move anywhere. For me, just feeling it's now the end. It will start to tank down. And that is now the ultimate depression, the book.
All right. And then tell us about BRICS. BRICS. We saw there was the last summit in South Africa. Give us an insight about BRICS. What's your insight? What's your analysis on that?
Honestly, BRICS is a very far-fetched story for me. It's absolutely nonsense. Literally, it's absolutely. I don't know why people were going excited on it. Like will have a BRICS coin. To be honest, India and China don't like each other. In fact, they don't even trust each other. The Russians don't trust the Chinese either, and nor the Chinese the Russians. The South Africans don't trust any of them, whether the Indians, the Russians, or the Chinese. Now, nobody's trusting nobody there. That's the first thing. The second thing, there's literally a war, not a war, but I would say a silent one, between the border of India and China. Those people are fighting there. They will be shooting bullets to each other for quite some time now, but nobody's talking about it. I don't know why. Then you have now the central banks, which will now somehow develop this BRIC nation currency. It's not so simple. You must now get a policy from all countries of how will this centralized bank of BRICS nations work. South Africa way of our Reserve Bank works in an entirely different system as what communist China is working. There is absolutely no freedom. The government makes a decision there on what will the central bank do and everything. Here in South Africa, we have a board that makes that decision. The policy, the mandate is entirely different. In India, it is totally chaos. So you want to now have one central bank, and you think one meeting, which was now the other day, will bring now a currency up. I was like, come on, people, man, really now? How can you believe this? If it gets to that point, it will take about 20 or 30 years to get a policy together of how much this currency and the central bank work. And by that time, Ramaphosa will surely be dead. Xi Jinping will surely be dead, and other players will surely be dead. So every time they will have to come up with new ideas and new ideas. I don't think it's possible. I think it's just a whole bunch of nonsense. I think it's more anger to do something against the West. I think that is what it's about.
That was my next question. That isn't this all born out of anger against the West, and they think they can actually wake up tomorrow and change everything, which is very much a highway. It's very heavy. It's
Yeah,
not really possible in a short period of time.
yeah, I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm not saying that, but you can't expect this thing to work in a, in a conference meeting in Sandton. I mean, that is not now possible. And honestly, it will take a lot of thinking into it. A lot of, and the other thing is, you have to first look at the military of the combined forces of the BRICS nations. Who's doing what? Who's building bases where? Who's protecting what assets? So you first need to get the policies from that side as well. What economic structures or principles will all the BRICS nations follow? The free trade agreement, the free movements of people that takes years and years to develop. It's not a conference in Sandton. I honestly don't know why people were excited about this nonsense. I think it was just a grandstanding drumsticks, drinking champagne story. It was absolute nonsense for me.
No, Christoph. All right. No, thank you so much for coming through to the channel. And what are your last words regarding the Forex board game? Maybe you've got something to share with our viewers here. Yeah.
Yep. Look, the Forex board game is surely one of the kind. As I said, it's the first in the world. And if people wants to come and try to have their investments or their money's worth or wants to be part of the game, please feel free to inbox me, and we can have a discussion on how we can structure funding for the game. And the main thing is it's more to do of putting South Africa on a map. I must say, one thing, I had a few meetings with the Americans, especially Preapps and Cubics, the guys who do it developing. You know, it was so nice speaking to them and even other people just because the Springboks won. But man, that just didn't just change here in South Africa. You have people in America that starts to drink Amarula, which is now a South African drink. You have people who was literally, what that guys did was not just helping South Africa to have a bit motivation, but it was literally setting a great image for us of power and strength, and that is what the Springboks did. And once you get that information from those guys, it puts you also in that position that, listen here, you are so close with this game. Can you also, with all your, I would say, your difficulties and insecurities and failures and sins and whatever you have, with all the crap that you have, can you just change the image of your fellow countrymen? Your politicians is not helping, so we have to do it ourselves. So that for me was the most encouraging part. And yes, if you guys want to help, please be free. But for you guys that are working on your plan, that are revolutionary, I know for a fact that it's not easy. That you have to wake up early. The best thing that you must do, I can tell a lot of people, is like how the Muslims are doing it. Wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, or at 3:30, somewhere around there, or 4 o'clock, I would say, is the best time. The first thing that you need to do, get out of bed. No, it is the most difficult thing to do, but get out of bed, get a very good routine for you. Whether you gym or run, do that, but do it for yourself, for your family, and so that the rest of us can benefit from it.
Thank you so much, Reiaan. Thank you for the insights. Thank you for bringing the project Forex board game to existence. Hopefully, it's going to be a global. I've got no doubt that it's going to be a global product, especially when you are having pre-apps. You said it's pre-apps
Yes.
that are actually doing the marketing for you. So, yeah, it's going to go global.
Definitely.
I believe so.
No, definitely it will. It will definitely be global.
Okay, Christoph, let's hope you visit us one more time in the near future. Thank you so much for coming through.
Definitely, man.
Cheers.
Lord Elson, really appreciate it.
All right. There you have it, viewers. We had Reiaan Hobson talking about Forex board game, which is an exciting product. So yeah, we are live again, guys, next week. So catch us live with a different guest talking a different business, but all in the financial market space. We all about educating people, making sure that you understand this industry way better and develop yourself to be an expert. So yeah, thank you so much. See, there's a comment here. Greetings. Oh yeah, you just greeted now, but we have closed. We are closing now. Thank you, guys. Do not forget to start copy trading, guys. Copy trading is whereby you copy trade of experts. Whilst the traders, the experts, the professionals are taking their trades, your account is linked to copy to those experts, and whatever they make, when they are making profits, you are also making money. You are also making money in your account. So it's an automated business. You just link once, and every time the traders are trading, your account is making money. So get in touch with the number on the screen. You can see the number on the screen there. Get in touch, and you will be assisted to start copy trading. It's free to start copy trading, guys. You don't have to pay anything. It's free to get started. Thank you so much, and let's chat again anytime, guys. We've got a guest. We're gonna come through. But yes, of course, expecting to be live again next week on Tuesday. Thank you so much.